Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to use Magic Keys. Let's take a look at all input parameters available. To open the Properties window, right-click on the chart, then select Expert Advisor and finally Properties, or use the F7 shortcut. The stats settings are used to configure what the Show Stats feature will show us. Pips range for closed trades to be considered break-even allows for trades to be categorized into wins, losses and break-evens. By default, a trade closed between -1 to +1 pips profit will be considered break-even trades. The exposure levels define risk levels for which, when risk per trade surpasses them, an alert shows while setting the trade with the intent of stopping you from over-risking. The risk management section is described in the risk parameters video. The actions configuration section contains a set of values that will allow to customize what happens when the certain buttons are used. Pips and profit when stop loss moved at entry will define how many pips and profit when stop loss is moved to entry by the software. A value of 0 will mean stop loss will be moved exactly to entry price. A value of 2 will means the stop loss will be moved 2 pips in profit. This parameter has an impact when the SL at entry button or the auto break even triggers are used. Pips distance when target at default defines the distance to move to the targeted line when the target at default button is pressed. Percentage of position to close on close custom defines how much of the position will be closed when the close custom button is pressed. Values from 1 to 99 can be used to identify a percentage. Percentage of position to close when partial TP is hit defines how much of the position will be closed when partial TP is triggered. Values from 1 to 99 can be used to identify a percentage. Should move SL to be when partial TP is hit defines if the stop loss should also be moved to break even automatically. If auto B price matches partial TP price, this can avoid setting two different triggers. RR to move target at default defines the risk to reward value that will be applied to the targeted line. Any decimal value can be used. Initial pips distance parameters are used to define where lines will show on chart when first appearing. If using fixed distance levels during trading, these parameters can help with making lines appear at the right price by default. Activate function on FN press defines which action to be linked to the FN button. Partial stop loss is linked by default. Over time, new functions might become available as a selectable option. When partial SL is linked to the FN button, the partial SL initial pips distance will define where the line will initially appear. When partial SL is linked to the FN button, percentage of position to close when partial SL is hit defines how much of the position should be closed when triggered. A value between 1 and 99 will define the percentage that will be closed. Alerts and sounds can be shown on screen when triggers are hit. Should play a sound when MK buttons are pressed can be used to limit the sound feedback on each button press. Graphics section contains a set of parameters that can help customize the appearance of Magic Keys components on chart. The magic number can help identify the trades opened with Magic Keys.